well.
Yes.
All right, guys, welcome back to Bourbon Blueprints. Here we are with Miss Alli Mueller. Hello, Miss Alli. How you doing?
Yeah.
I'm excited. A little nervous?
I think my nerves are gone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I tell you.
Are your nerves gone?
No. I don't think I have.
No pressure.
No, I don't think I could do this every day. It's still.
You think? You get nervous to do your inspection?
No. It kicks in, right?
Well, to be fair, there are some times where I go to take a load up and I'm like, I don't have nerves about this. I've done this
Millions of times.
maybe not millions, definitely hundreds. Definitely hundreds of times. So.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate it. Taking time out of your day to come up here. Especially in Richmond. I feel so bad still. I don't care. I feel bad for having you.
It was beautiful and sunshiny. I got to knock out some phone calls and jam out to some music.
Awesome.
Some techno house music.
Is that what you listen to? Techno music?
I listen to everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, pretty much everything. There's maybe 2 bluegrass-ish songs that I'll listen to, but that's not my favorite.
That's not your genre, right? Okay.
No. There's like John Denver. What's the song?
You cannot not say John Denver.
Really? No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'll say that's probably as close to bluegrass. That's the closest.
He's kind of. I'm gonna call my agent here. I watched him with my grandmother on old TV shows back in the day.
I mean, he seems pretty timeless because I was just introduced to him 2 years ago.
Well, if you go to West Virginia, you hear a song.
Well, I have only ever been through West Virginia. Never
stopped. Don't stop. Just keep going. Don't stop. Well, once again, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Seriously, without anything, my viewers are going to love the fact that you can make some good information.
Yeah.
So, because we have a long time, I can't let you not come here without. Guys, today's drink is going to be the espresso martini. Description will be in the actually the recipe will be in the description down below. Thank you, ma'am. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers. I've clearly already tasted mine.
Well, you know what? It's got a little bit of a. It's gonna make this fun today.
It does. Well, so I prefer an espresso martini with a little bit of a cream base to it, or else I feel like I'm just
drinking straight coffee.
Black coffee.
Well, this is creamy.
It's
actually pretty smooth. Now, look, guys, I am not a martini guy. The whole thing is called Bourbon Blueprints. No vodka. Mm-hmm. I'm not a vodka person.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not that bad. I could drink one of these, and just one.
Yeah,
just one, and then move on to something else. So, Alli, tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been doing lending?
So, started with lending the second week, and I'm going to be specific because it's important to this, is the second week of February 2020.
Second week of February. Why specific?
So, because I was in the office for 2.5 weeks, and they're like, hey, go home. And it's COVID. Learn everything from home. So, learned everything from Microsoft Teams and video conference calls. The whole job.
We had nothing else to do, right? COVID. We were stuck at home anyways.
Yeah, other than my puppies. Yes.
How many dogs do you have?
I had 2 Alaskan Malamutes.
You had?
Had 2 Alaskan Malamutes.
Sounds like you lost some.
Well, they are with the other owner, the other party.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. That's about all that we need to know about that part. So you're down with your mortgage group down in Richmond.
So we are actually kind of unique situation. One, we're everywhere, all up and down the East Coast. My main branch is actually in Annapolis, and then my other branch manager is in Orlando. So I don't have to go to either. I am fully remote.
Really?
But the nice thing about being fully remote is when I want to go travel up north, I can. I got to go to Germany with my dad this September, October.
That's awesome.
I took my vacation time, but I also then got to do a little bit of work there. So I get to travel too.
So you got, that's what, without a job, we don't get time off.
Not per se. That was actually one thing that really convinced me that this was the team I needed to be on, though.
Okay.
Is actually when I was going through my interview with this, my branch manager said, hey, he goes, don't worry, I know you're going to hustle, I know you're going to make money. He goes, but the one other big thing is I need to make sure you're also dedicated to taking care of yourself and spending time with your friends and spending time with your family. And he's like, if you don't have a desire to do that, he goes, this probably isn't the team for you. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, that is, yes. as close to balance as anyone can find in this world. But yeah.
You know, with our business, the way we are, balance is hard. Balance is really hard. So the fact that you're in a company right now that allows you to have some kind of work balance,
Yeah.
personal versus work, that's awesome because it doesn't happen very often.
It does not.
Especially in your age demographic, because us Gen Xers, we don't take days off. We just work until, one of the legs fall off or one of the arms come down.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. Especially your boss, because, all right.
Yeah. No, I really like it. But that was the cool thing is, well, going back to like when I started, is I had no choice but to learn how to research things on my own. And then, because you couldn't always get a hold of somebody.
Still can't.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're working with the right people, you can. But yeah, so it was just like the force to learn things. And I don't know, I think it made me definitely more self-sufficient. I still ask questions because I am definitely not perfect and I'm learning something every day. But I like that about my job.
But we have to learn, right? If we don't learn, we can get passed on. Like this podcast. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a technique guy, okay? But my competition is.
Yes.
So if I want to be competitive in this market, I have to do what everyone is expecting me to do. I have to do the podcast. I have to do the social media.
I mean, I love social media. Anyone who knows me knows this.
And as you guys can tell, I am not the biggest fan of social media, but I'm getting there, guys.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. This Gen Xer is getting there. So with that being said, kudos, because like I said, we've got to stay with the now, because if not, someone's going to do better than us, and before you know it,
then they're going to like take your job.
Exactly.
Nobody is taking my job.
No, but that's the thing though. So if you don't do your job, like if you say, "Hey, I can't do this one," you pass it off to that next person. That next person may not intentionally do it, but they're looking to take clients, whatever they can. Yeah. Any agent you have, any agent I have, hey, I can't do an inspection. Okay, well, I'll have to get another inspector.
Find somebody who will. Yeah.
Because they can't wait. No one can wait. Everyone has to be right then and there. So doing this podcast is where I'm trying to be more competitive.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
It's working.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So walk me through a lending process. I'm a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
What do? I'm looking for a home in this crazy market. I want a home.
So every market is always going to be crazy. But the first thing is really just having a conversation. And so for me, as often as I can, I try to, I don't say honestly, not necessarily in person, but I'm getting on the phone with you.
Okay.
If not getting on like a video conference call. Give me like 10, 15 minutes. That's all. I want to know what your goals are, and we're going to set up a home buying plan. Because even if you can't buy a house right now, most likely you can buy a house. And so it's just coming up with a strategy of how to make that happen.
So do I call you first? Do I call an agent? How does it work?
It goes both ways. Before you actually start looking at houses, yes, absolutely. You need to have a conversation with a mortgage advisor. Me.
Okay.
That is pertinent because you could be going to look at $500,000 houses and be only approved for $300,000, or you could be like, hey, I'm not finding what I want, and lo and behold, you could have gone up to $700,000-$800,000. You just didn't know.
Correct. So now, when it comes to lending, I mean, is it one of those things where, let's say, what's the difference? And I know credit has a lot to do with it, but what's the biggest difference as far as a $300,000 home versus a $500,000 home? If the client is like, oh, I didn't know I could do $500,000, are we looking at an overall cost where it's like it could break them as far as thousands of dollars, or?
In theory, yes, but that's part of like setting up the plan. Is I like to know people's timeline, their location. I always pose it as, and anyone who I've had conversations with will probably know this, I'm like, I'm a Zillow-aholic.
Okay.
First off, it's a relationship that I'm building with this person. Just like you and I are building a relationship.
Correct.
Talking right now.
Correct.
I'm like, I need to get your social security, the blood of your firstborn child, all these things. But I actually do want to get to know you as a person, because I can just any loan officer can spit numbers out at somebody, but I'm here to give you a plan and help you strategize and actually advise you on those things. So what's your timeline? What location do you want to be in? when you're searching Zillow, yes, we still need realtors, but when you're searching Zillow, like what houses are you actually liking? Okay, well, what ideal price point? If I'm like, hey, here's your new monthly payment, what sounds comfortable to you?
Okay.
Oh, okay, perfect. Now I know. One, that helps me gauge if they're in more of a fairy tale land of price or if they have a general idea of where they're going to be. And that just helps pose the next conversation I have with them. And then same with, okay, where do you want your monthly payment to be? Every single transaction is going to have a cost.
Gotcha.
So if I'm like, hey, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars, this is what you got to bring to closing, what do you feel comfortable with? And that allows me to just gauge where the person is. And also, anyone could buy $1 million house. It's just how much money do you want to bring? What loan amount are you actually approved for? That's the step.
Do you feel like more people now have a little bit more equity, like cash on hand, than they did before?
In the past year, yes. But I think it's also just I have pushed myself to work with and expand my client base. So I'm working with a broader range of clientele.
Gotcha.
That's what I would say towards that.
You made a comment, and I snickered. Sorry, guys, I had to snicker. You made a comment about communication.
Yes.
I run into a lot of clients that are scared of the lenders. Literally will ghost you. Hey, I need your pay stubs. Hey, it is like, from what I'm seeing, like almost like drawing blood. Like they don't want to ever talk to their lender.
So it's a couple things. One, I think from a customer standpoint, they are scared that they don't want to look like they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
I already know you probably don't know what you're talking about. It is quite literally okay. When I bought my first house, I had no idea what loan type I was in. I barely even knew where to make my payment. I couldn't even tell you.
But you already know everything about them. Like there's nothing to hide.
I wasn't with a mortgage.
No. I'm saying as a buyer, you're already given your social security number. You as a lender already know everything that you need to know about the.
Yes, but I think a lot of people think that a lender or a loan officer, hence why I don't actually like that title. I want to like a mortgage advisor. It really is that, because anyone can be a loan officer and take the test and give you information, but I'm here to advise you on like what that actually means for you in your situation.
Okay, fantastic.
A squirrel brained.
Scroll break. We're talking about buyers and why they ghosting you.
Yeah, it's just scared. And I also think it's that the loan officer doesn't know how to communicate properly and set the right expectations. I let my people know, I'm like, text me at 2 a.m. I am not getting back to you at 2 a.m. But I don't want you to forget a question, and there's no stupid question.
Okay.
One, if you got to ask me the same question 3 times, it's not you, it's me. I clearly have not explained it well. But I let them know that in the beginning. And I'm like, if you've had to ask me it, I'm going to stop and be like, okay, here's what we've said. What part about this are you not understanding? Because
Gotcha.
again, I look at loans all day.
I'm sure you do.
And one, I enjoy it, but two, like that's my job. I'm not going to go to a dentist or you as a home inspector and be like, you wouldn't expect me to know everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be foolish.
True.
I don't know what you don't know. So just help me help you. I'm not trying to disqualify you. If anything, I think that's probably the biggest thing.
I was going to say,
people think they're trying to be disqualified when really we're just asking exploratory questions to help make sure that we're understanding the situation properly. And this is how we can actually help.
It seems like what I'm seeing, especially maybe it's a little on the lower income side, that, okay, oh my God, I got approved. I'm approved. I'm not going to say anything else, because if I say anything else, it can be gone the next day.
I don't even think it has to do with income bracket or anything. Working with clients who are approved at like $180,000 all the way up to people who are approved over $1 million. Everyone, it's money.
No, it's a lot of money.
One, for money itself is not emotional, but everybody is emotional about money.
Okay.
So that's where it's like, hey, let me help take that stress off of you, because it doesn't stress me out. I enjoy it. Just like it would stress me out beyond belief to try to go do a home inspection. First off, I wouldn't even really know what I'm looking at. I could see
it's easy.
I could see mold. I could see that someone cutting in a freaking raft or tread or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was funny yesterday. I'm sitting with the client. Side story.
It wasn't even a good job.
No, it looked like they chewed
Straight.
through it. I swear to God, it looked like they're like, I can't find a
It
saw.
was a squirrel saw.
I will just use my teeth. The minute I looked up, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just saw this. So I made a comment
You
about.
can't unsee anything.
No, I can't. It has to be documented.
Yes.
The minute I see it, it's documented. So, well, we just talked about kind of low income, and what I meant by that was more of debt to income ratio. Is that
Sure.
Is that a situation where it can?
Debt is overwhelming and takes up way more bandwidth for people than it should, but it's terrifying. And so that actually kind of goes into what I would say is like part of the planning is the second you think that you want to buy a house, just talk to a mortgage advisor, your lender, whatever the main terminology is. Go talk to somebody. Because if they're good at their job, what they're supposed to do is help you buy a house.
Okay.
And I've had people where they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna tackle this debt." Okay, you can, and that might be the best path. But what might be better is, why don't you just look at your whole cash position? Okay, does it make sense for you to put this on a down payment? Does it make sense for you to buy down your interest rate and save more money here? Does it make sense for you to pay off this debt? Is it actually just gonna save you money monthly but do no improvement to your credit score? So those are different things that we can help look at. And yeah,
I'm glad you made that because I'll tell my clients, especially on new builds, where they were like,
I do love
I
construction.
know you love construction. That's your forte. But when I'm doing a new construction, I'm like, hey, I noticed that you guys didn't have a deck put in. Oh, we didn't want to do it. We're going to use our money in the back of our pocket. And I try to explain to them, I said, look, guys, you should have really thought about this earlier because you put a $20,000 deck into a $300,000 mortgage, it's $10, $15, maybe $20 extra a month, if that sometimes.
100.
Okay. Versus the $20,000 that you had as a cash egg
Yes.
is now gone.
Yes.
And now you have to recoup that. So that's a little bit more of a harder deal to deal with. Piggybacking off that, what if my first-time home buyer says, hey, grandma's going to give me $50K?
Okay.
Does that hurt them, help them?
It depends. So we use when we're going through and approving anybody, we have to push things through what we call our automated underwriting system.
Okay.
I'll say 9 times out of 10, you can get a gift and you're totally fine. One, it depends on who the gift is coming from and the type of loan you're on. But for the most part, you're fine. Every once in a while, you will run into it where it's like, hey, however your loan is set up, you just can't receive a gift, or you can only receive a gift for X amount. But for the most part, yeah, somebody can get a gift and it can go towards their down payment or go towards their closing costs.
Now, lending is not my forte, just like home inspection is not yours.
Definitely not.
We're going to be talking about some stuff, guys. We're going to use some terminology that if you don't understand, please email us back, DM us, and we'll definitely explain to you because we're going to use some.
Explain.
Yeah, we're going to use some acronyms here that's going to be going beyond even my scope of understanding. Okay. So.
You want me to explain different loan types?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Yes, because I think my clients, they're going to definitely want to know FHA, the VA difference, conventional loans. But it's not just that, though, right? I mean, there's a bunch of subcategories for a whole bunch of things, right? It can get kind of crazy.
And there's a whole out-of-the-box category, which I love.
Okay.
So very generically, there's an FHA loan, there's a conventional loan, and a VA loan. And then there's also USDA, which is like more rural housing. With FHA and conventional, the biggest difference is the credit tier that you fall into and then the mortgage insurance that's on that.
And it's that you're talking about PMI.
So there's both. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
So with an FHA loan, you have monthly mortgage insurance as well as an upfront mortgage insurance premium that's financed into your loan. With conventional, if you put less than 20% down, you have monthly until you get to 80% loan to value.
And then you can have that taken off.
So you can ask for it to be removed at 80%. So your loan to value it's whatever your house is appraised for, the value of your home versus what your actual loan amount is. So at 80%, it's 80% out of 100.
Okay.
If you put 20% down and you're at that 80% loan to value, you have no mortgage insurance. Anything under that is where you do have it monthly for conventional. So once you hit 80%, you can request for your mortgage servicer to have it removed. Once you get to 78, it automatically falls off.
When you get to 88, you said?
78.
78.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that thing. You don't have to worry about it at that point then if you kind of forget about it. Because at this point, you're talking about how many years down the road, maybe?
So that is also dependent on how ambitious you are at paying down your loan. That's kind of the best way to put it. So you've got, when you make your monthly payments, majority, especially for the first 5 to 7 years
plus whatever
of your loan, goes to interest. Yes. So like when you make that mortgage payment, most of it's going to interest, and you're just slowly chipping away at the principal.
Now look, Alli, I know we're not going to get through all of this in the 20 minutes.
Sure.
Because there's more questions, right? So as we're talking, it's just opening up more doors and more opportunities.
It is. Also, I can simplify it even more. So you've got your main loan types.
Yep.
Biggest thing is going to be, if you want a VA loan, you have to be a veteran. You have to be eligible for a VA loan.
Now, as a vet myself, that's actually changed a lot in the last 20 years.
Okay.
Because from what I've gathered, from when I first kind of came into with the system, it was a one and done situation. You use it, you're done. You burnt it. Now it's changed.
So since I have my farthest back knowledge of it, it's never actually been that way. However, it has been that I think there's more of a lack of understanding. Now, granted, I haven't been doing this for 5 years. So could things have been totally different before? Yeah. To be honest, I didn't.
Just calling the age out. Just calling the age out.
No, but that's the biggest thing with VA loan. There's multiple ways, in essence, in the most basic sense, to use a VA loan, and you can use it more than one time.
Okay.
Absolutely. FHA and conventional, biggest thing between those two are your credit score and what it's going to be called your debt to income ratios, which program is going to work best for you. You can sometimes qualify for both, but one might be better than the other.
And there's no wrong or right. It's like, oh my God, I'm in an FHA loan versus conventional. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, because for a lot of people, it makes more sense. They traditionally have lower interest rates with an FHA loan.
Guys, the government gives it to us. Use it. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and use it.
Yeah, one's government, one's private.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference between them. But with the out of the box category is what I like to call people who might, self-employed people, I'll say more specifically. Do you have a really good CPA that knows you want to buy a house, or do you have a really good CPA
that knows how to work some deals?
Knows how to make sure your taxes are set up correctly?
Legal disclosure here. We're not trying to tell you to do anything.
We are not at all.
Anything against the government.
No, but with that, there's different categories. There's bank statement loans. You're a business owner. You have business bank statements. Send me a year of them. Let's see what you can qualify for. You have a profit and loss as a business owner. Send it to me. I don't want to see your tax returns on those two programs. There's different options. So those are nice. I mean, we've literally had people who there's not a shot in hell they would qualify off their tax returns. They're going to buy a pretty decent house right now.
So yes, I know there's as a business owner, there's things that I know that if I want to purchase another home, I've got to make sure I have squared away so it makes it easier for you, and we can get this thing done. Which
is also why, because obviously I can't advise anybody on their taxes or how to do that. But having that conversation up front, the mortgage advisory piece. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 6 months from now? Hey, tax season's coming around. Oh, you're getting money. Let's use it here. Oh, hey, this is what you... Just having that conversation and the knowledge and knowing.
So,
aces.
Buying a home is not one of those things where you can wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm ready to do it. It should be more of a plan situation, right?
Oh, absolutely. I even plan it out for myself, and I'm in it in the day-to-day. And I'll say I'm in it, and it still makes me nervous, just FYI for people looking at my own information. I'm like, oh God, did I do this right? What's this? And I'm like, wait, it's my own stuff. I've looked at it anyways. So, but yes, having a plan. Traditionally, by the time someone applies, it takes them about 90 days to get keys to the house.
Okay.
Can it happen faster? Yes. I'm closing a deal within 21 days right now. And it's fine, but I'll tell you what, this customer, anything I've asked for, they everything. Right.
So you're the reason why an agent will call me and say, hey, I got to do an inspection within 5 days because their window has literally shortened down to about 21?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Sometimes people just want to get that inspection done to like clear any contingencies on a contract.
You know, the way this market is, I'm getting more of the 5 days. So when we first started doing this,
Probably 10 to 12.
yeah, 10, 12, almost 2 weeks at some point. Then it went down to 10, and 10 was the standard. Then went down to 7.
Yep.
And now we're seeing 5s as standards. Like, hey, quick turnaround, just to be competitive. A lot of times, informational purposes only.
Yep.
So when that happens, it's like, okay, here, I'll do an inspection for you. Good luck. When I do my inspection, does it relate to you at all?
No, I actually don't want the home inspection. This is the only place that it relates. When I'm setting up that plan for somebody, I let them know there's 5, but like 3 main categories. You're going to have of money that go into the transaction.
Okay.
You've got your down payment and your closing costs, and that's what's due at the closing table. But then you have a couple things that you have to pay for outside of that lump sum at closing, if you will. And so the only thing you can pay for on my side prior to is the appraisal.
Okay. So that's it. That's the only thing as far as closing costs. Everything else is...
For the most part, yeah. You'll have your earnest money deposit. But this is the other piece that people don't think about all the time, which I make sure to let them know. But granted, they don't do this every day.
No.
But if you have a home inspection, that money doesn't come to me. I don't pay it for you. You pay that. And you pay that before you get to closing. You pay probably before the inspection is even done.
Correct.
And that's your home inspection. But then there's well and septic sometimes, depending on the loan program you're in, whether you need one or both. And so that's just something that people need to know. Like, there is always going to be a cost to buying a house. It's when do you pay it and how is it paid and who pays for it.
And I'll tell you, that has a lot to do with communication. So when we communicate, you and I would never talk to each other, right?
No.
It's one of the things where my report, if you see it, it could hurt the client to an extent.
To an extent, yeah.
This is where the realtor needs to be that liaison between us. Okay? So I can tell you, in the 20 years I've been doing this, more than 20% of the time, it is a squirrel moment from the client. Oh, what do you mean I got to pay now? I thought this was part of the closing cost.
There's a million other things people are doing when they're buying houses. They're still working. They're taking care of their kids. They might be going to school. They're sick. There's a holiday. There's a million other things people are doing. I am simply focusing on their loan. You are simply focusing on their home inspection. So I don't get frustrated with people when they think about, when they're like, I didn't know. It's like, yeah, you probably forgot. That's okay.
No. Well, do you think, so I think sometimes they're like, does this hurt them as far as having another cost? But I'm sure it's easy to explain.
It is easy to explain. And sometimes, which is understandable if you're looking at, what's your average cost for a home inspection?
$425.
$420. Perfect. Okay. So it's like, I would say for the average person who's going into buying a home and knowing that there's going to be different costs, I always just tell people $500, if I'm being honest. Okay. So it's nice that you're less than that. But I tell them that, I'm like, hey, keep in mind, like, whatever your appraisal costs, your home inspection might cost the same thing. Probably maybe about $500. It's kind of what I tell people. Appraisals are going to be more expensive.
Yeah, appraisals are more expensive.
They are more expensive. But I give people that knowledge so that if it does come in that high or if it does come in lower, they're like, oh, look at this. It's actually cheaper than I thought.
Well, it's just good. I'm glad you at least let them know that, hey, look, I mean, because you're talking about if it's septic, appraisals, home inspection, potential well inspection, potential termite inspection.
I'll say $1,500 to $2,000 outside of.
Outside of what the total closing cost would actually be. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm telling you what. I told you she was a guru. I wasn't lying. I told you she's a guru. Because we have so many open doors. And I don't want to overwhelm everyone with a bunch of information.
Yeah. And you're more than welcome to call me after if you have questions about this.
Yes, guys.
I'm open to the calls.
Alli's information is going to be, once again, in the description down below. Email her, contact her. She's an open door. By all means, use her as a resource. She's going to be like me, where you have a question, just email us. I don't mind giving free advice because God knows that's what value is for. So she'll give you some advice. and then lead you in the right direction as far as what you need to do moving forward. Okay, and if you want to use her, fantastic. She won't turn down the business. I'm sure she won't.
I will say one quick thing on that. That
What's
is
that?
one thing that is my biggest lesson for this year that I have learned.
What's that?
Is not every realtor is for me and not every client is for me.
Yes, you can say no.
It is okay to say no. And I mean it in no disrespect to anybody.
No.
But just like I have to focus and build my business very well, if it is going to impact me personally, like actually negatively in a mindset, which we can all like at some point get over, but it's okay.
No.
You can go work with somebody else.
I'm telling you what, I've had the phone calls. We have, and I'm sure you may get the same thing too, the inspection shoppers.
Yeah.
First question, how much do you charge? Okay, hi, how are you? My name is.
Yes.
You're asking me for my price. So in the back of my mind, I already know that you're just shopping for prices.
Which I am not always against, but I'm
But-
also not going to be the cheapest person.
No. So my price is not the cheapest. It's kind of median. But at the same time, when you start asking questions, I've been doing this long enough where I can kind of dictate of how you're going to be as far as the client goes. So I can say, there's been times I've told clients, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm the right inspector for you. Because you can see down the line, we're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yes.
And we have to watch how we are. So
I think to that also though, people are only asking the questions that they have heard to ask,
correct.
which is how much does it cost? How much does it cost? How much? Because it's a huge transaction and you're probably doing this 1, maybe 3 times your whole life.
If that much.
If that.
If that much. Do you think, funny you said that, because one of my questions I want to ask you is, do you think Google and ChatGPT AI has over-informed individuals? Kind of like WebMD, like, oh my God, I think I have this disease.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I have had people put their whole contracts into ChatGPT and have it spew questions. I might
Really?
put that right back in and say chat answer. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. But yes and no. I think there is, and this goes for literally every industry everywhere. There's information overload to anybody. But what would make you stand out and me stand out and any industry professional is, okay, that's great. You're coming to me with all of these questions. How do they make sense to you? Do they apply to you? And how can all this information that you've now gotten, what is it? How can I advise you on that?
Correct.
What does it mean for your situation?
Correct.
Because quite literally everyone's situation is different.
No, it is. But I think the way we are, because we get into those questions, it gives that value. I had a client the other day where an agent contacted me. She's like, hey, my client doesn't even know you yet, but has some questions.
Okay.
I spent a 35-minute phone call with him. I don't even know if I'm even doing an inspection. I sent him a build fax on the permits that were pulled for the house. I spent money. I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, but that's also one. It's the relationship that you have with the agent. It's the relationship that you're building with the customer. I had somebody yesterday. I don't even know this person's going to actually buy a house. Went through everything with them, but we started talking about our tattoos and the books we like to read, and now we're just talking about different. They reached back out to me. They're like, you know what? I didn't actually think about these questions, but you were so willing to answer and talk to me about life things. What do you think about X, Y, Z?
It adds value. And it's what I tell my clients all the time. When I say clients, I'm talking about my agents. Value. If we can provide value, yes, yeah. If we can provide value, that rapport that we can have, where we can feed off each other and kind of build like an A-team kind of situation.
Yeah.
That means the agent looks good, we look good. Even if the client or the buyer doesn't buy a house, they're gonna refer us.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. It's just building business.
Yeah, and that's honestly I've done other sales things before, and that's the one thing that correlates across to all of it is an emotional experience for the other party. So how can you speak to their emotions and actually help guide them through that? Because for us, it's not emotional.
No.
But if we can help build that with them and actually have a good relationship with them, like I'm friends with a lot of my clients now.
We have to when I do an inspection, we have to drop that persona of I'm just your inspector. I have to be open. I have to joke with my clients because they're already stressed enough as it is, and they're thinking they just looked at the most beautiful house in the world, and I'm going to come in and destroy it.
Yes. And the one thing, obviously I don't talk too much about home inspections with people, but the one thing I do let people know, I'm like, that is the inspector's job, to go in and find anything and everything that could, is, and might be wrong with the house.
Correct.
What would you say to somebody looking at like your inspection report if they're like, I just got 40 pages, what the?
Well, here's the thing. So I got to make sure when I'm talking to my clients, I've got to calm them down and let them understand there is never a perfect house, including new builds. I find stuff on new builds.
Yep.
So there's never a perfect home, because when they do get that 155-page report, they're going to be like, no. So I got to make sure when I talk.
Or not even read it.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. Yes. They're like, what? There's a lot of times they'll tell the agent, "Hey, what do you see in there?" And the agent will just write things down. Love you guys, but that's the truth, right? You just copy paste and be like, "Hey, you're fine with this kind of stuff." So you can't scare them. You got to walk them through it. You got to provide them information even after the fact, because otherwise, no matter what we say, if we say it incorrectly, inspectors out there, make sure when you communicate with your clients that you word it correctly, because anything you mispronounce or missay, they're going to be scared and not understand and think there's a lot more issues. So just watch your wording when you're out there.
I think that goes for, like how you had said, A-team. I think that goes for, it's so important for the mortgage advisor and for the realtor to have a good relationship. Even though I don't talk to you as a home inspector, it is vital for you to have a good relationship and back and forth with the realtor. And because all of that correlates to the customer. If one of those, the title company, if one of those pieces of the many are stressed out and that drips down to the client, it's game over. It ruins everything.
It does. And
even if there's not actually anything wrong.
Nope. Just miscommunication, misspeaking, whatever the case may be. So communicate. Agents, like you said, agents, lenders, inspectors, make sure you communicate very well so that everyone's on the same page, so that the deal one doesn't get deal, because we're not trying to kill deals, right? We want to make sure the home buyer buys the deal, but we want to make sure they're taken care of. Like, we're looking out for the buyer as our number one, as our person. So if we don't find a good home or we don't find a good deal, then by all means we need to let them know.
Yeah.
Alli, I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to the news lately.
Maybe just a tiny bit.
Just a little tiny bit.
What news?
I know, right?
Mortgage news? Yes.
Okay, well, so we're going to stay.
Any other news?
One thing we don't do here is we don't do politics here. Okay, so we're not going to talk politics. We're not going to talk about anything about anyone else. We're going to talk about, however, though.
Clearly, it all correlates to the market.
Correct.
Yes.
And right now, it's crazy. And housing market is like the number one topic nationwide right now. The bubbles. They're talking about crashes. They're talking about adding a 50-year mortgage. They're talking about portable mortgages. Portable mortgages is when you actually can transfer your interest rate to a new home, correct?
To be honest, I have no freaking
Okay.
idea.
It's all good. Because, I mean, guys, hey, so, but.
Should I know that? Yeah, sorry, guys. But again, I don't know everything.
No, but she will find the information out for you guys.
I will, absolutely.
So there's a lot of plans out there. How do you feel about, let's just keep it simple. How do you feel about the 50-year mortgage?
I think it is phenomenal.
Okay.
And I think it's also the worst idea ever.
Okay.
Because it's a terrible idea. Well, first off, anyone who's not financially responsible, to be honest, somebody said it perfectly on our team. Everybody deserves a house, but not everybody deserves a mortgage.
Okay.
So if you're not financially responsible, just because you buy a house does not mean you're going to become financially responsible. Probably the latter is the least responsible. However, I think for a lot of people, it's going to open up an affordability door. Majority of people don't have their mortgage even for 30 years. They don't have it for 11. I think 7 is now the average of how long someone has a mortgage. And they might refinance within that 7-year period. So guess what? If the 50-year mortgage allows somebody to get into a house and actually afford it, they're probably not staying in a 50-year, and they could easily go down to a 30, maybe even a 15. Who knows what's going to happen in 7 years? So much can happen in even 6 months.
This is my thought on it, because I've had a lot of agents talk about it, and we've discussed it. I think the first-time home buyer now will not be looking at starter homes with a 50-year. Meaning, I think now if they're thinking, okay, I'm 30 years old,
yeah,
and I'm going to buy my first house. If I buy this house and hypothetically I stay in that 50-year mortgage, I'll be 80. So do I buy my starter home that I have to fix up, or bite the bullet and go ahead and buy my forever home? Because I know I'm not going to ever be moving again in that 50-year time frame, and then pass it on to my kids.
I think it just depends on where everyone is.
Well,
stage of life.
we're in that 95 corridor, right? So between Thornburg and all the way to DC, we're such a transient community. Actually, I would say Richmond. We go from Richmond all the way up.
Yeah.
We're such a transient community that people don't live here long. I mean, you ask...
Unless you're a Marine that gets stationed at Quantico, then you never leave. Am I wrong?
Why should you have to bring that up?
Well, because that happened to my dad.
I'm like, why? Just because I'm here doesn't mean anything. Your dad, too? That's fantastic.
Yes. No, I make a joke about that. But seriously, it's like Quantico just keeps.
It did. I ain't gonna lie to you. But here's
because then there's DC, Arlington.
Well, no, that's exactly it. So, side note, I'm an hour to the mountains. I can go skiing.
Sure.
I'm an hour and a half to the beach. I can go to the beach.
What beach are we talking about?
Well, hey, FYI, guys, I go to Myrtle all the time. I live in Horry County, too, so I don't go to Virginia Beach. Sorry, Virginia Beach.
They have coarse sand at Virginia Beach. No one needs.
So, but I'm 5 hours from, well, it used to be 5 hours to New York. Depends on how the traffic is.
Don't take a train. It's 8.
No. I can be in Philly. I could go to Boston. I could go to mountains. So this area was, in the early 2000s, was prime location. Still is.
And we have 4 seasons.
In one day.
In an hour and a half even sometimes.
One day.
Yes.
Yeah, God bless us. God bless us. I tell you what. By the way, this drink, it's pretty good.
It's delicious, yes.
So you think a 50-year mortgage would be pretty good?
I think it's great for some people. I think for majority of the population that are going to buy a house, it's probably not the best idea.
Okay.
But I think if it gives somebody hope that they can purchase a house, why not have a conversation about it?
How much do you think is going to drop? Let's say, because if you do a 30-year to a 50-year, is that like almost cutting your mortgage payment in half?
No, it is not in half. It's closer to. It's not half less. Honestly, I haven't done the math. The one thing with the 50-year mortgage I will say is not every single lender is even going to offer it. If that fully comes to fruition.
No, I'm sure they're going to do 50 and 30, and then if someone feels like it's
there was 40-year mortgages for some people, but not every lender has it. Just like not every lender has every single loan program and product that's available. Even if the 50-year does go out, it does not mean that everyone's going to want to lend on it.
It's like kind of buying a car. You got the 3-year, 5-year, 7, and now they got the 10-year coming.
Right, like some people are going to have 36. They're going to have 62, 7, or 64, 72.
Whatever they want to pay.
Right, 84 months. It's like, well.
The car won't last so long.
Right, but for me, I didn't care how long my auto loan was because I was already going to pay it off faster. I didn't care. I was making double payment. I was lucky enough to be able to do that, I will say.
Good job.
But I already knew it wasn't going to affect me that much personally. So if someone's like, hey, I want to get into a house and get a 50-year mortgage and then make a 30-year payment on it, well, you're going to pay off your house faster than you would in 30 years.
And that's going to be for another segment on another day. Because I tell you what, guys, like I said, we can sit here and talk lending all day.
Because I love it.
Well, that's just the fact that you love it. There's so many subcategories.
There are.
It's not just okay, so my last guest, realtor, you can kind of corral it into a short segment or a shorter segment. But lending, there's so many subcategories that you guys can go into. That we can sit here and talk literally days on this situation.
And I think part of that, not that real estate doesn't change all the time, because it does. Obviously, we saw that. But with lending, every single company is a little different. Granted, they have to follow the main parameters, but every single company is different. The program guidelines are changing, all of that. So there are so many nuances.
You are now in the Richmond market, okay? But you come up to Fredericksburg market
all the time, and Nova.
So quick question for you, because
Yes.
I know I see this a lot with inspections.
Okay.
If I'm in the Richmond market, i.e. Central Virginia, it's a different contract versus if I come up to Thornburg and north, and now I'm in the Northern Virginia contract situation.
So I can't speak to that too much just because I am not a realtor. However,
But for you,
plenty of conversations that I've had with people, the contract is a little bit different. It's a little bit of like a different system that they actually
But I'm actually
use.
you. Is there a difference for you?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, the only time that changes is really state to state.
Okay.
Like whether you're an attorney state or a title state or like all that good stuff. And then lending guidelines are a little bit different from state to state.
And for those that don't know, we're actually at the Virginia market. So what she's going to be talking about is only based out of Virginia. It's not going to be anything different. It will be a lot different from.
However, while I have Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and I'm adding Missouri. You guys are the first to know.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I have a lot of family in Missouri.
I'm saying that's not close, but okay.
It's not, but all of my dad's family is in Missouri, and so I figured, like, why not?
Why not? Well, if we're dropping, things, then we're actually spreading out to the South Carolina market. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
I know. So come next year, I'm going to be looking for 2 licensed inspectors.
Okay.
For the South Carolina market. So
Cool.
congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Missouri, is that going to be like all Zoom situation, or you've
Sure. I mean, I don't care. I'll also go out there. I have a client who's buying a house in Alabama right now.
I saw you had something about New York or something like that.
I have a couple of New York clients.
Gosh, she gets everywhere. So
Ew.
on the nicer side of the things.
Yes.
Okay. So make sure we keep that clear. Alli, look, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, we could sit here and talk all day long.
Yeah.
It has been nothing but a pleasure.
Thank you.
No, seriously, I appreciate it. Now, guys, I told you that I was going to bring someone that knew about lending, and Miss Alli here did not disappoint by any means. Thank you for having me for coming here today.
Yes.
We will have to do this again.
I think so.
Okay.
I want to know what people want to hear about too.
Well,
because I can yap.
Oh, by all means. So, guys, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to leave comments and questions in the subject line or DM us. By doing that, that's going to let us know what your next topics would like to be. Because, look, guys, this is all about you. This ain't about us.
Yeah.
Because we do this all day long. So we're not here just to talk. We actually want to inform you guys as much as possible. So if at some point we may even think about doing a live cast where you guys can ask questions and we can answer them right then and there.
Yeah.
Which will be fun because you're going to catch us right there on the spot. We may or may not have a drink at that time, just to make sure we're staying on page. We'll see how that goes. But, ma'am, thank you so much. It has been nothing but a pleasure. I am out of drink to give you cheers, but thank you, and looking forward to seeing you again.
Yes. Thank you
Thank you much.
Yeah. That was fun.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it recorded the whole time.
The whole time. So I had it.
It only took 16 times.